Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Gold Advantage on the Best3 Network. We are back after the break for MSI, where T1 disappointed, losing to RNG in the finals. With me, as always, are Scoot, double thumbs up, surviving his tornado, and BNB, living it up in New York. How are you guys doing?
Brooklyn, baby.
Brooklyn. Oh yeah,
Brooklyn, baby.
That's it.
I went through hell to record this podcast for the record.
What did you actually do?
I am.
What did you actually
I did nothing.
do?
I sat inside my apartment.
There it is.
I cried a couple times.
Weren't you in the bathtub?
Outside.
Did you say you were in the bathtub? Spooning your roommate?
I mean, no windows. Yeah, bathtub, Tempur-Pedic pillow, blanket,
hot water bottle.
You know how it goes.
Chocolate.
Yeah.
I bet. Yeah. He had some bath salts. He was like sipping champagne.
Eating the bath salts or like using the bath salts?
Yeah, of course. I was snorting the bath salts and then eating people's faces. Yep. I am very excited to be back. It's we got an exciting summer split ahead. I have a broad take about the LCS that we'll get into when we start talking about these roster changes.
Why wait?
But
why wait? Let's kick it off.
I'd like to wait a little bit.
So we'll kick off with LCS.
You want me to
talk about roster changes? Give us your thoughts.
My broad strokes take, and we're flying out the gate here, but I actually don't give a shit about any of these changes. And I read something about this earlier today. North American League needs better coaching. That is the fundamental problem currently.
Okay.
We don't need better players. Like we have pretty good players. They need to be coached better. It needs to be a better system in place.
I think some of them need to.
I don't know.
Some of them need to be more open to coaching. I think North America has a lot of diva. I'm the star, and the players almost have too much power. I think in Korea they have too little power, but there's a middle ground.
Agreed. And that middle ground, I don't know if it's not China and it's not the LEC, because I feel like the LEC has similar problems to the LCS just a little bit. Like you see it here and there. Well, okay. European bias coming through maybe just a little bit. But no, listen, Cloud9 stuck to their system. It didn't work. And you look at shit like that. Sometimes you just gotta take a step out and change something up. I understand that it's worked for so long in North America, but nobody is buying the bullshit of we care about winning worlds. Yeah. Everyone here just cares about winning.
I find Cloud9 is the most egregious because they said the thing is it's not just about LCS. Apparently their whole system has been spread out from the LCS into every other title. The problem there is that that raises more questions than it answers. I'm like, what is this system? What are we talking about when you say system? Training, the empowerment, how you create rosters, strategy. What does that mean? And why is it that if you change it for league, it changes everything else? Are your league coaches involved with other games? I don't know. And they didn't give enough details. It's a big L for them.
It's that, and if this is going to get into a way deeper conversation than we need to get into on this podcast, but if esports is ever going to grow, you can't view everything the same. The way your Valorant team is treated is not the same as your league team. And I wouldn't coach a baseball team the same way I'd coach a soccer team. That's just not how that works. They're completely different games. So what's the point? I guess if it's infrastructure, it makes a little bit of sense, but even just across the board in the LCS, people are coaching to win North America, and it's time to start coaching to win worlds and get better coaches. And I think for a period of time there, Cloud9 looked pretty dangerous just on an international scale with LS. I don't they have their reasons for firing him or whatever, but there was a part of me that was like, hey, this is weird in North America. They're going to lose some games that are bizarre, and you're not going to be able to explain why they lost, but maybe that works in an international setting. And some of those wins look so decisive.
It wasn't so much about the decisiveness, but it was I am not seeing the same old shit again. As in so often we see the same names, the same performances, essentially the same outcomes. And for once we were seeing a team pull things out and playing in such a way that I was like, oh, okay, they're creating their own play style, their own meta, and they're learning to play the game in a different way that NA does. And I think that's partially like what we were excited about EG. And I do think EG, it was rough at MSI, but we kind of saw that of like these young guns just being confident and going for it. There's still a long way to go, but that's what you need. You need it where it's so, and I don't kind of put the LEC with this, because I think LEC does have its own style and its own feel to the way they approach the game, similar to how the LPL plays in a very different way, similar to how the LCK plays in its own way. I've always felt like NA though is almost like an LCK LEC light. You know, like they're taking what's happening and then they're trying to replicate it without fully understanding why it's happening.
It's high elo ranked 5-stack. That's what it is.
It's a good way of putting it.
I mean, like, let's not beat around the bush. It needs to develop into something. I hope it's I hope it would be a LPL little remix in terms of aggression. I feel like that would be way more entertaining, but we'll see. I mean, yeah, EG, I feel like at times when they lost, they fell back on their North American laurels a little bit, and that's kind of what.
There's a thing in
don't you just feel like a little bit of this is in the DNA of the regions? Like, I think it's really hard for an NA team who plays against NA competition to then completely change their playing style to compete against a LCS or a LEC or a LCK or an LPL league who plays at just like a different level. Like, the quality, like, say what you will about coaching, and I'm probably not going to totally disagree with you, but the reality is I don't think it's an inferior league. It's an inferior talent. So when you're competing and you're like playing against that, Scoot, you're not gonna make it to the pros by playing me and Nikki in Valorant. You might make it to the pros if you start playing with professionals. Right?
I kind of disagree. That analogy I don't love, because they are pros, and I actually don't agree with the talent isn't there, because when a lot of these players boot camp in Korea, they're reaching top 10, top 5. Like the talent is there without a doubt. Like there is the talent there.
So do you think it's just the play style?
I would make this more of an example of, I don't follow baseball, so I'm not gonna. I don't want to compare it to my leagues because I don't know enough about them to really make that reference. But the NBA G League is a mini version of the NBA professional league, and so they will send players into the G League sometimes because they've had an injury, sometimes because they're fresh, sometimes they need to work on something, because they're playing against people who are not good enough to be pro, but they're like semi-pro, and they know how to play enough to give them those reps before they go into the pro leagues where it's a faster, more intense game. I would say NA is that G League.
Yeah, I would say that is not 100% true. Even if a player is hurt, like for the NBA, they never send players down. They do it a lot more often in baseball. I think baseball is because they're being hurt, but
baseball is way more common for the rehab assignment. Right. But yeah, I understand what you're saying.
I mean, the thing is, they sometimes send them, like, you have players who have come up from the G League and stuff like that. I mean, like, maybe it's college football to American football, but I know that's very different. But the point, the concept is there, is that I'm just saying is that I think it's more akin to that than them not being talented enough and playing against amateurs. Like, they are professionals, but it's almost, a lot of the time what comes up when they're talking to Koreans and Chinese about NA counterparts is like a lack of fundamental understanding of the game state flow as a whole, like the meta, the macro meta, in that a lot of these players, like Sky says, it's a 5-man solo queue stack, and they know how to play their lane. They know, if I'm playing my lane well, we can do these things, but it's a very rigid understanding of, like, I do this, you do this, then sometimes we do that, as opposed to understanding, for years, wave management was not understood in the NA. Like, it took 2 or 3 years before NA really got to the point where it was like, oh, I can hit 2 minions now. It will stack up against the wave in 3.5 minutes. Whereas Koreans were, like, learning all of this stuff It's such a fundamental level that they can start being like, oh, we need to push top lane. I'm going to hit 3 minions, leave 1 on half health. We'll rotate here. And not everyone, but I'm talking the best teams.
Of course.
I think there's that. The only other thing I would want to just throw in is I do think it is difficult to play at a higher level though when you're playing against more average talent.
Correct.
Yeah. I don't disagree with Chris's point on that end. I also, it is very interesting to me, and I don't want to take us further off course in terms of talking about roster changes, but when you import players, it almost feels like they don't bring a lot with them in terms of like trying to change the game or trying to change the team and their fundamental understanding of the game. It feels like they're coming to North America to shit on people. And like, yes, they do a lot of the time individually, like that happens, but at the same time, if you have a chance to make a championship caliber team or start building a dynasty and you can be that player and you have that talent, you need to look to do that.
Yeah, but that's
it doesn't feel like that's always the goal.
So like I think one there, not everyone's the leader, and that's okay. And you can't just bring in someone from Korea and be like, why aren't you being a leader? Because maybe they're just not a leader. Two, Korean culture does not encourage or foment like the sort of Western mentality of speak up, community, like very much age is important in Korea. It's the coach is the authority, like you really listen to, whereas in NA the coaches are basically a joke for the most part. There's a lot of players who like, I don't give a fuck about my coach openly. Doublelift has said, like, he's like, I've never had a good coach. Now I don't know if that's true, but either way it's horrible. He's either never had a good coach when he's played on some of the best teams, which you're like, what the fuck? Or he's just being a prick. And he's one of the best players in NA. So you have a kid who's saying like, none of my pro coaches know fucking shit. Or, and I think that is like a massive issue. I also don't know that, I think to your point, some players come, if you're in your prime, are you coming to North America? No. You're coming to retire, to make bank, to...
It's like the MLS. It's like the MLS in professional soccer.
That's an amazing comparison. That is so spot on. It is the MLS. I can do another 2 years in Europe, and it's going to be rough, and I'm slowly going to decline.
People are going to criticize me.
When faker,
I just fucking get a massive payout.
Totally.
LA Galaxy is going to give me a percentage ownership of the fucking club, and I am going to be... This is a new prime, because everyone here is shit.
Oh, are you talking about somebody, or is that a specific example? Did
Beckham get that?
Yeah,
he did. Okay, yes.
Sorry,
okay, I was like, I think he did. I was like, I didn't want to out myself too much.
Too.
I don't know anything about a terrible sport. But it's so. Yeah, and I think that's part of the problem is that I actually would much rather we import like Korean coaches or something like that and have them like really have the system and say to them, we're going to do a 2-year experiment. You get to pick whatever rookies or talent you want in NA. You have 2 years to grow them into something. I don't care if in the first year we don't make it to Worlds. But teams aren't doing that. And they're not going to...
I'm saying that's that's what I'm saying. That is a root cause, root problem. Yeah. That's what I think.
And I love some of the players we have. Like, it's great to see Jensen coming back. Jensen I think is a great player. But I also, to your point, don't give a shit that Jensen is coming back because I'm looking at this Cloud9 roster and I'm like, oh, okay, quarterfinals, here we come. Like
it's a rerun of like an old Cloud9 roster.
I mean, look, the funny part about where I think you're about to go is like Cloud9 finished second, 1 game off from winning the spring split again versus Team Liquid. The team that went on a true champions run, EG, my beloved EG, they just finally kind of got their shit together and started performing the way we thought they were going to perform this summer. So I'm glad that EG is not going crazy. I mean, why would they? No. Right? Not a lot to go crazy about. But I think, or I hope, even if they, they finished 4th, even if they hadn't won, I hope they would have also stayed the course because these guys were exactly in the right place to go where we thought they were going to go. They actually just matured a little bit earlier. Yeah. Cloud9, I mean, to your point, from the minute they fired LS, like these guys have been fucking scraping. They're
no,
like,
I mean like Summit worst MVP ever.
ever.
You know?
That was the worst.
But he is like, you know what? He dominated. And like, I hate to say it, he did dominate the main.
But he
team.
dominated for like the first half.
And like,
he dominated the first half.
Even the latter half, he was doing really well.
No, he dominated
well.
lane the entire split.
Let's not revise that too harshly. Like, I understand why he won it, but just
he dominated for one game.
He basically no one gave a shit. Like
yeah.
he didn't give a shit. That's why he's out. Like this whole Cloud9 roster where they were like, we're doing something different, blah blah blah. Fine, LS is gone, but then straight away after they're like, all right, we're dropping Summit because he clearly doesn't respect us or the team or anyone who's not older than him. So that's fucking out. Fudge, who is, of course, I'm staying in mid lane. That's not happening. Well, no, Fudge is now in top lane. We're bringing Jensen back in mid lane. We're bringing Berserker back, which fine, and Sven is going to now become our support. It's like, all right.
I mean, like LS was what was fundamentally different about that Cloud9 team and what fueled them being different. Like when that went out the window, nothing different was going to happen post. Like
and Fudge,
we were going to see the same
Summit
shit.
Was there because of LS. So it's like,
yeah, exactly.
Not surprising. The only other thing, so that's the roster now. So we have Fudge back in top lane with Blaber, Jensen in mid lane coming in to replace Fudge, who's moved up top. Berserker coming back as ADC, and Sven is role swapping from ADC to support. Little wrinkle in the plan. Apparently, Berserker has lost his passport, which includes his US visa. Which means now he has to apply for the whole thing.
You were chatting about this in our Discord,
yeah.
right? And you were just throwing all kinds of slander on the greatest country in the world.
Yes.
And I'm here to defend us.
Okay.
Guess what? People have been dealing with this their entire lives.
In America,
don't lose your
digital.
No. You go anywhere else. You go anywhere else. You get a fucking visa printed on your passport. If you lose your passport, you no longer have a visa.
No,
like I'm sorry. That's how it works.
I mean, just don't lose your fucking passport.
I was when I went to Istanbul. You go pay $20, get a visa. They stamp it on. Yeah. So
I don't know if I'd be using Istanbul.
Listen, fundamentally, let's just.
I don't have many.
Passports. How about that? I feel like that's a reasonable thing to ask.
I feel like now I could be wrong, and it's probably a good.
When you go to Mother Russia, I'm sure that if you lose your passport, they have some issues with you. Yeah,
you lose
exactly.
a finger too. To teach you a lesson. No, I agree. I do.
And your family.
I think it's more. What I mean is, I understand you need to get a new passport and get it re-stamped in. Yeah. I don't understand why you need to reapply for the whole visa again.
Well, how can we know? How can we know that it's the same person?
True.
Is this a Is this a DNA passport? When we get bio passports, maybe we'll.
It's a step passport. It's not your.
Then we'll start having digital passports.
Yeah, it's your stepdad. No step
CLG. CLG.
All right, next one. So we're not excited. CLG has swapped out Jenkins in the top lane for Dockler. Dockler performed really well in the academy. It's fine.
I love this. I love it.
Top 8. Top 8, baby.
You love it?
Top 8, baby.
I've been.
What do they gotta? They gotta go 4-10 to make top 8, right? That's what it is.
CLG has been on the come up for the last split. Yeah. They went from last to 8th. Next, they're going to 6th. I have them making the slimmest of LCS playoffs, which is fantastic. This is a team, Nikki, that you, rightfully so, and Scoot, and the rest of the LCS was claiming wasn't even trying. So the fact that they actually bring in a young...
I changed my tune at the start of this year.
Yes, you did. I
was extremely bullish on
CLG.
But
for a team that has been getting ravaged by the community and by the leagues and the fan base, I'm bullish on these guys. I know that Scoot's making a little bit of a joke, but I love it. Cultivating young talent and putting them into the fire. Let's go.
How much I'm
not joking.
Them, I won't take a bet against you about them. That's how much.
Wow.
Yeah. You see, so this is a split where I actually do think, I'm happy they haven't thrown everything out. I think Dockler's going to be an upgrade on Jenkins. I'm actually, my biggest question was more around contracts. I feel like he was playing really badly last split.
Yeah.
This is his split, baby.
I think he's a better player because he's been around for a little while. He played on Cloud9, so I'm okay with him. But there's a limit now. Like, look, spring split sucked.
Yeah.
I think if he performs at the level I imagine he can perform at, I think playoffs is in reach. 6th place, something like that.
Top 8, baby. I wasn't kidding, Chris. I believe in this team.
Top 8 doesn't give you playoffs, Scoot.
Yeah, not anymore. Not
Pretty
anymore.
sure it does.
Not
They
anymore.
changed
Not?
it, yeah.
No, it's top 6. All right, top 6.
Top 6.
he's just,
I got them in
he's just
playoffs.
throwing around fucking playoffs.
I've got them in playoffs. That's all I have to say. Sorry, I thought we were still in the,
they dropped that. They dropped
the
it.
Wild
That's good,
West
yeah.
days.
So-
Yeah, I know. I just remembered that.
Dignitas, they're also swapping out the top. Fake Gods out. Gamesu's in. Gamsu.
Last place.
Yeah, I'm
Wait.
not, no, I don't think they're last place, but
Wait. This was a team that we all thought were making playoffs based on play, right?
Yeah,
This
yeah.
was a team that we thought was going to be dead
this
last.
is an upgrade.
They surprised us all. They almost got playoffs.
Yeah.
Kind of blew it at the end. Nikki, what do you think about them getting rid of Fake God?
Yeah, it's good. Fake God was not good.
Toxic? You think
No.
he was a detriment? You think he was
No, just fine.
just not
Think
good?
he was really keeping them from Worlds? Do you think he was keeping them away from Worlds?
No, I think they'll make.
Okay. Just
I
making
think
sure.
they're top 6 team.
Any
Do you think
bold
Fake God's
predictions
retiring?
for
Like, what do we think? What do we
Dignitas?
think's going to happen to him?
I don't care. It's
I mean, he called
my,
God fake,
My
so he's
problem
probably
is
gonna
right
get
now is
smited.
like I don't really care. Like I think the way we saw
Okay.
Dig play is I'm pulling up Spring just to be accurate on this one. Dignitas finished in 7th.
Yeah, but don't forget, it was a very close,
very
not
close
like,
7th.
very
Yeah.
close 7th.
Yeah, and that's where I think they got fish.
This was a Dignitas that was 2-0 against the 100 Thieves.
Yeah, I'm basically the thing is it's like this is a swap that I think like oh good okay it's an improvement. Are they making top 4? No. Are they are they going to make it into playoffs? Maybe. I think it's going to be like CLG, Dignitas, FlyQuest.
If
Golden
Dignitas
Guardians
had just
contending.
gone 1-1 against FlyQuest and Golden Guardians,
Yeah.
they're in 4th place.
I am somewhat shocked that FlyQuest did not make a change, but
Yeah. Well, they came 5th and they did really well.
that one
Like
Yeah,
so
a fake 5th.
fake 5th.
fake. Fake.
Could've been
They
6th.
tied up with EG.
Not
Who won it all, so basically exactly the same.
They basically won it all.
they are EG. Agreed.
Like so basically last split we had EG, FlyQuest and Golden Guardians all tied. 5th, 6th,
Yep.
and 4th, 5th, 6th.
Yeah, but EG was like, if
Sure,
they shouldn't
but they
be
did.
tied.
But they did.
Though
They
did.
okay, yeah, but they also proved that they did not belong in that
Well,
conversation.
They
no,
proved it at the
didn't.
end.
They
They
100%
went on-
proved that they did deserve to be in that conversation, and then they got better. So I kind of like
Better playoff buff,
Sure.
clutch moments. I don't know, like best of fives.
yeah,
who
but
knows
I'm-
what it was.
To me, I'm like CLG, Dignitas, FlyQuest, and Golden Guardians are back. It's probably FlyQuest and Golden Guardians are gonna miss. I don't know if Dignitas will make it because I don't know if TSM is that much better. So anyway, Golden Guardians next.
Oh.
Licorice is staying.
Oh.
Pride Stalker is staying. Blaze Olive is staying. Lost has been swapped out for Stixay. Ole is staying. Okay, it's
Seen
any
enough
strong
of
feelings?
Stixay over the years.
yeah. Stixay
No.
is
Imagine
Not
if
at all. Like I have no feelings about
imagine
this
if
at
we
all.
had really strong feelings about Lost
yeah.
being
Well,
lost.
now Lost is the Immortals. So Immortals, Revenge is in top lane. Kenvi is in the jungle, so that's a new phase. Power of Evil and mid lane. Lost is now at ADC, and Ignar is in support. Ignar gives me the biggest hope here.
That
but
was
also
what I was
feel
gonna
sad
say.
Seeing him on the Immortals.
That's
I
tough.
like
That's a
Ignar a
tough
lot,
fall
and I
from
don't like
grace.
seeing him on Immortals.
Listen, honestly, I think they're going to be not significantly better than what they were last split. But it's hard to be worse.
I mean,
So,
Immortals is like the most confusing
that
team
doesn't say much.
because they will go and beat the best, and then they will lose to the worst.
Yeah.
It's just like such a team that like I don't know. Maybe that's getting rid of Wild Turtle is gonna be the big. I look at
listen, I don't think this
I'm sorry.
ownership-
I look at this Immortals team and it's like kind of interesting to me. PoE,
PoE is good, but they
Lost,
were trash last
Ignar.
season, so I'm like,
I know, but
Yeah, what is PoE going to do when you put PoE on a fucking island with no
look,
he
they
has
were
like
5 and
God now.
13.
Come
I think I'm going to put Immortals into playoffs this round. I think I'm going to take out FlyQuest and Golden Guardians and put in Counterlogic Gaming's.
It's tough now because like this is the thing.
I want to do CLG, TSM, and Immortals. I actually, yeah. Well, I was going to say I want to put those 3 in.
All right.
Which is
here's where I stand on Immortals.
So it's
Is the 100 Thieves going to drop out?
I don't think so. I don't think EG is dropping out. My bold prediction is Cloud9, Liquid, and 100 Thieves and EG all make playoffs. And then outside of that, I think TSM is still that they brought in a new support, and then they brought in Maple in mid lane instead of K Duo.
TSM is gonna finesse.
You think they're gonna make it? All right. Yeah. Well, then we have them in 5th place. I'm not sure they are. I'm not excited about that. I think it's the same problem kind of again.
Are we sure? Are we sure Team Liquid's good?
What the hell are you?
That roster's
about?
expensive.
Here's where I stand on Immortals. Since you want to put them in playoffs, irrational.
Yeah.
This ownership group has no fucking clue what they're doing. That's what I'll say about this. Because I've watched them blow up a Call of Duty organization that might be the easiest brand in Call of Duty to run because it's the one that everyone likes. And then they had to sell it back to the guy that started it. And look at what they're doing in the LCS. I mean, this team.
Anywhere
Sorry,
they
Chris.
are, it's bad. So
they just blow shit up. I don't understand. At the
moment,
not for me.
Just like if we're running through it, it's like 100 Thieves, Cloud9, Liquid, EG are in. Outside of that, we have CLG, FlyQuest, Golden Guardians, Immortals, and TSM fighting for the last 2 spots. I think I still have FlyQuest in. I think I still have FlyQuest making it, and then I'm probably putting TSM or I don't know if I'm putting.
Are we sure that we're putting TSM? Why are we just writing?
Guardians and FlyQuest actually.
Yeah, why are we just writing in TSM
and FlyQuest? Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Man, I think this is actually going to be kind of a fun split. I think we actually have some, like, even at the bottom, like, I like that right now our bottom teams are like 5 and 13. They're not like an abysmal 2 and 16, whatever. 2 and 16.
I don't know. I'd be willing to sacrifice the team to go 2 and 16 for a few teams to compete in the middle of the table. I'm fine with.
Well, but that's what we're saying. I actually think there will be. Split. I don't know if Immortals gets that much better, but I think you have TSM, CLG, Golden Guardians, and FlyQuest competing for those final 2 playoff spots.
Oh, believe me, no matter how much better Immortals is talent-wise, whatever they're doing behind the scenes will just blow it up anyway. So it doesn't matter.
My one request for the LCS, the split, can we please not have 3 teams that are 500 make the fucking playoffs?
What do you do then?
I think there should be a max.
No promises.
It's the way it's set up. All right, LEC. This will be quicker. What?
Whoa! TSM.
I said it. Maple. And then they're also changing out.
Yeah, I fucking like
they're
Maple.
Also swapping. I said it, and you were
what
like,
"What do you know about like you like maple syrup?"
No. Maple's a Chinese import, good. Chris. You don't know about this.
He's washed.
He's also got a big. This is a big anime resurgence arc split for Maple. That's all I have to say. He is kind of washed up, but like, if you're gonna rewrite the history books a little bit, you're gonna do it in the LCS. So this is his split. I've got him going off.
Right. That's
I think TSM makes it. They're making playoffs.
Fine.
Not every team can
make it. Find who did they announce?
Well, that's how it used to be. They changed the format.
They changed something. I think they have a new support as well. I think Shenyi is out.
I think Shenyi is still starting in support. They brought him back mid-split.
I'm looking it up now.
I mean, I was looking at the roster a little bit before this.
I swear I've just seen something about them swapping. Mia's coming up from Academy.
That'll be interesting.
So basically,
they still have Viper
brought in.
So they still have Viper, right?
I still think.
I don't know.
Viper.
I think the hard part there.
Like, isn't he pretty solid as well?
Oh no, sorry.
I know
He's
they
coming
have
from
Nikita,
Latin
like,
America. He's coming from Latin America.
Or Huni, sorry.
Huni.
Sorry, Huni. I thought Viper was like pretty good, and he's on their bench. And I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of a different Viper who has the same name, which just confuses the shit out of me. But yeah, okay. That being said, TSM making playoffs, Maple, Resurgence Arc, all those points out of the way.
So you have CLG and TSM. So you have FlyQuest, Golden Guardians, Dig, and Immortals not making it. Okay.
Come back to this tweet.
I'm gonna be putting Immortals and I think I'm gonna put Immortals in TSM.
Okay. Interesting.
You just bought the snake oil I sold you.
Nikki, who are you putting?
I think I'm putting FlyQuest and Golden Guardians.
Okay, so you're just having the exact same starting six.
Oh yeah, it is. I still believe in FlyQuest. I still think FlyQuest is. I think they got overlooked, and I think they deserve more. Golden Guardians, I'm much more. I think they are the one that is most likely to drop out, and it's to someone like TSM or if CLG really clicks.
I think Tukui.
That's what I mean.
Well
I think Golden. So. I think. Yeah, I'm just Tukui. All of them. I think FlyQuest did well. So it's hard for me to just say overlook them and say that.
Well, unfortunately, let the record show you're picking the exact same six teams making playoffs.
As you said, I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's just composure. That's all that is.
Yeah, I could swap out TSM for Golden Guardians.
Don't. You already picked your.
All right, LEC. Let's jump through this because this is taking way longer than I thought it would. We haven't even gone to the betting.
Yeah, we're having a good time.
You're like,
great time.
A fucking good time,
Astralis making big changes. They're bringing in Vizicachi for the top lane instead of White Knight. They're swapping out Zanzara.
God bless you for getting that name right.
That's an unbelievable name.
Yeah,
we love that.
So he's coming back.
White Knight was also
awesome. He's coming back. Xerxes coming in the jungle. I think Xerxes good. Then they have Dejo, mid lane, Kobe, and ADC. And they're swapping out Promise Q for Jonghoon in the bot lane. So I don't know much about Jonghoon. I think Kobe is solid. Dejo was fine. But I do think Xerxes and Vizicachi are great. Particularly Vizicachi is like a phenomenal top laner. He's always been great. So this is like across the board a strong upgrade. Think.
Well, I mean, what you watch? First of all, I watched maybe 2 Astralis games all of last split. Because the entertainment value just wasn't really there. In the 2 games I watched, I'm pretty sure I watched White Knight get top lane gapped just the entire fucking beginning of the game. So anything's an upgrade, and it's nice to hear that this guy is pretty solid. So you know what? I'm bought in on the dream. Chris just went black screen for me.
He's back.
I love Hungarians. I've been to Hungary. I love Budapest, so I'm all in on Vizicachi, and I cannot wait to play bet against these guys. Though I'm not as sold. Cool. I'm still writing Team BDS. You know how it goes.
We'll see. But okay, next one.
Team BDS.
I mean, to be fair, they can't do much worse than 3 and 15.
It's an improvement. I'm not sure how much of an improvement it is. Mad Lions. Swapping Rika out for Niski. And I am...
Super interesting.
So, great to see Niski have a home. Apparently Cloud9 tried to get him back. I think it's an upgrade, but I don't think Mad Lion's problems came from Rika. I think the whole team was shit. So I'm kind of like, okay, you changed one player. I'm not...
Look, you're not changing out. Yeah, Armut played amazing at the end.
Finals or like semifinals or whatever. It got weird at the end.
Just making playoffs. Armut plays amazing when he wants. You're not changing out Ayoya because he's incredible.
Well, they weren't. They
so
weren't.
You were basically
they played incredible last year. You're telling me Armut and Ayoya, you're looking at them as like these are fucking spring split.
They are the
I agree with
bedrock that you can
that.
build a team around. Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yes. So with that in mind, you're not moving those two players. That's where I was going. Unforgiven, Kaiser, I'm not going to be able to debate the nuances of where they fit or stack or rank or where they are disrupting or giving a team. Mid to me clearly was an important place for them to upgrade to be able to control the game because Mad was just so top heavy, right? They were just so top heavy. So taking some distraction and kind of finding someone who can go in and help both bottom and as well as the top, I think is important. Niski's got the experience to probably play along with their play style, and so this to me is for a team that was not playing great until the very last bit and still almost made playoffs. This will be a team that I 100% see.
I'm not convinced on that because I think the fact that this is what I mean. I think it was a complete team failure on Mad Lion's part, not one player's. I agree that the other players are the bedrock in all of this, but I'm like, have they changed their coach? They haven't. I need to see this in action because it's like,
the coaching, that is probably the biggest glaring mistake, right? Because they were not able to get up.
Look, it's either Kazi and what's his name who got replaced by Rika and Unforgiven were really the core and everything that mattered about the team, or from a leadership perspective.
From a leadership perspective,
that's the case, then I don't know that is Niski going to fix that. I don't know, or it's the team is just like floundering, and then I don't know if Niski is going to fix that, or it's Rika just couldn't fit in, and they needed that one linchpin. So long as mid lane is winning, top lane's winning, we're okay. So, okay.
And I would say at that level of talent that when you're competing against the best in the world or close to the best in the world, like those small nuances and differences do make they're compounded, right? They're compounded in the result, and so I think this I like this move. Okay. I have Medlines in the playoffs.
Team 100%. BDS, they so Adam's out, Aggressivu is in. Syncroft still in the jungle, Nuclear Int still in the mid lane, and Maddie is still at ADC, and Erdote is now in instead of Limit. I think this is a very sideways move. I mean, Adam wasn't great, Limit, but like again, I don't like. I think if we're asking really, are they going into playoffs? No, I would swap them. It's like Mad Lions is way better of a move than BDS. So I don't have much to add there. Do you guys?
You want to talk about a fucking minor league team? This is
Vitality, big one, and this comes with juiciness.
However, great logo. Still don't think they're going to come in dead last.
It's not really that good of a logo.
It's the Boston Breach logo of the LCS.
It's just pretty good.
It's just pink and blue.
It's the Boston Breach of the LCS. Of the LEC. Of the LEC.
The Boston Breach logo of the LEC. So Chris feels affinity to it.
Yeah. You just picks one of those.
This X and B. Nice. Ooh, I love it. A little bit of a paint smudge, and that's it. The big one now.
Ooh, put a little graffiti. Put a little graffiti or a nice little pink. Love it.
Vitality kicked Selfmade out and have brought in Haru and Bo. Now, this is interesting more from a juicy perspective because in their letter or post about kicking Selfmade out, they alluded to the fact that when a team has two divergent styles or approaches, a change has to be made. So essentially, the egos of Vitality were clashing. Selfmade had a different opinion to Perkz,
Can't believe that.
Most likely, and Kazi, and how to play the late game. And so they believe that by removing the problem child, everything will be better. You had to make that team cost so much.
Yeah, there's no moving forward. But are these two gimps ready to be the superstar bitches?
Well, do they know that? Does Vitality know that you can only play one of them?
I think they got to test one of them out and then have the other in the background just in case. I don't know.
They're like, do whatever.
Yeah.
They're like, do whatever Perkz and
else.
Alfari say, or else.
I mean,
we
there's
have
also
your
Kazi
other
there.
replacement right over here.
Go get Perkz some water. He looks thirsty on stage. Like, what the hell's going on here? Come on.
I don't know. This team.
It's a clown organization. The leadership there is
team is,
atrocious.
Okay, well, I
It's
mean,
the thing is, like, taking Selfmade
yeah,
out, you still have Perkz, Alfari, and Kazi. And Kazi thinks he's the fucking god's gift. Perkz clearly does as well, and Alfari does too. So I think you're still ripe for issues there. As much as I hate to say it, Alfari is someone he just consistently wins lane and loses game.
Yeah. So I don't want to be a dick, but like,
no, go ahead.
You replaced Selfmade with a Korean and a Chinese player. Like, is the language thing going to be an issue?
I think it's fair. Yeah, I imagine that they brought in people like that they can speak English. Also, you're not having a conversation.
I mean, you're gonna have 4 people yelling at you in English who have huge
you don't
egos.
necessarily have to have conversations. You need to understand certain words.
Yeah, it just needs to be call outs.
Yeah.
So.
And then like engage.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I know, but for me, it's more so about playing style, right? Like when you have people who your team was entirely basically European based before.
Yeah, but we're not inviting in.
Well, at this point, it's
tier. These guys are definitely they've been brought in as the bitch boys, the B boys, you know, like and.
Yeah, at this point, it's like, hey, match our play style, or we're gonna bring in the guy from your rival region who you don't want starting over you because that would be sad.
But that's not like easy. And by the way, like that's not like a great environment to thrive in.
Cares about healthy
right?
environments.
And jungle is just such a
fast as possible, Chris.
But jungle is just like such a critical position.
I think these guys
not that
are
any role position isn't critical, but like.
But they understand, like, the fact is here, this is a team that is going to be led by whoever is now the alpha. Like, they got Selfmade out, so someone here is going to be the one saying, I want it like this, and the junglers are going to do it.
The way this team should be led is whoever is popping off that game makes the calls. Like, fuck it. Whoever's got prio or whoever's stacking, just let them call the game. That's what you should do. That's how you solve all your problems.
I think they make playoffs, but I don't think they win.
I think they make playoffs this time.
Honestly, I mean,
they might win. Who knows? Maybe this is it's a longer term play. We know who it's not going to be. So.
Shut up.
I definitely see Mad Lions.
You knew it was coming eventually.
Yeah.
All right. This has been a long episode. We're wrapping it up. Please follow us on Twitter at Bo3 Network. If you are listening to the podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please check out our YouTube.
Then you're missing out on the most amazing facial expressions of Nikki and Scoot.
Chris didn't do his gang signs at the beginning, but you can go back and you can see him doing like finger guns and all that stuff. But you can find us on YouTube at Bo3 Network.
Baby.
If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you. We love you. Thank you for supporting. All the people also listening and watching, we also appreciate that.
I got my boy at work. I'm going to give a special shout out to him. His name is Jake. Big Money Jake. This guy fucks. And he subscribed to the podcast. Big love.
Yeah, you forgot to tell him to, like, subscribe, and hit that.
That's
what
what I was gonna say. So
that's a pretty
put it perfectly. Like, subscribe, and hit that motherfucking bell, according to Scoot. And check us out on Twitter if you want at Bo3 Network, and there is a link to our Discord in Twitter.
To be fair, if Jake made it this far into his first podcast experience with us,
I think I'm gonna split this podcast up.
Yeah, I don't think I can listen to this entire one.
It's a hefty one. But thank you for all your support, tuning in.
Very girth, a lot of girth.
If you want to have any questions or anything you want to talk about. And we will see you all next week. Bye, everyone.